That was kind of a loud one. All right. So our chalice will be lit today by Kelsey. Yeah, woo! So please join me in reading the words provided for the lighting of the chalice, which will appear over here on the side. Oh, it should be on the side. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So please join me in reading these words. We light this chalice with an open heart. We light this chalice with resolve. We light this chalice with tears still fresh on our cheeks. We light this chalice in hope, a tiny flame we nurture. We light this chalice with reverence for this place, for these people, for this time. We light this chalice with all our souls longing to be who we are, to be who we will become, to be ourselves. We light this chalice in self-love and in giving love. So next, Megan will be reading our story for all ages, which is called Peter and the Golden Thread.
Hi, everyone. So we don't have visual aid today, so you're just going to have to, it's the theater of the mind today. So you're just going to have to do a little bit of work, but I'll do my best. So this story is called Peter and the Golden Thread. Peter was a young boy who could never live in the moment. When he was in school, he dreamed of being outside playing. When he was outside playing, he dreamed of his summer vacation. Peter constantly daydreamed, never taking the time to savor the special moments that filled his days. One morning, Peter was out walking in a forest near his home. Feeling tired, he decided to rest on a patch of grass and eventually dozed off. After only a few minutes of deep sleep, he heard someone calling his name. "Peter, Peter," came the shrill voice from above. As he slowly opened his eyes, he was startled to see a striking woman standing above him. She must have been over 100 years old, and her snow-white hair dangled well below her shoulders like a matted blanket of wool. In this woman's wrinkled hand was a magical little ball with a hole in the center, and out of the hole dangled a long golden thread. "Peter," she said, "this is the thread of your life. If you pull the thread just a bit, an hour will pass in seconds. If you pull harder, whole days will pass in minutes. And if you pull with all your might, months, even years will pass by in days." Peter was very excited about this new discovery. "I'd like to have it, if I may," he asked. The elderly woman quickly reached down and gave the ball with the magic thread to the young boy. The next day, Peter was sitting in the classroom feeling restless and bored. Suddenly, he remembered his new toy. As he pulled a little bit of the golden thread, he quickly found himself playing in the garden. Realizing the power of the magic thread, Peter soon grew tired of being a schoolboy and longed to be a teenager, with all the excitement that phase of life would bring. So again, he held the ball and pulled hard on the golden thread. Suddenly, he was a teenager with a very pretty girlfriend named Elise. But Peter still wasn't content. He had never learned to enjoy the moment and explore the simple wonders of every stage of his life. Instead, now he dreamed of being an adult. So he pulled hard on the thread, and many years flew by in an instant. Now he found that he was transformed into a middle-aged adult. Elise was now his wife, and Peter was surrounded by a house full of kids. But Peter noticed something else. His once jet black hair had started to turn gray, and his once youthful mother, whom he had loved so dearly, had grown old and frail. Yet Peter still could not live in the moment. He had never learned to live in the now. So once again, he pulled on the magic thread and waited for the changes to appear. Peter now found that he was a 90-year-old man. His thick, dark hair had turned white as snow, and his beautiful young wife, Elise, had also grown old and had passed away a few years earlier. His wonderful children had grown up and left home to lead lives of their own. For the first time in his entire life, Peter realized that he had not taken the time to embrace the wonders of living. He had never gone fishing with his kids or taken a moonlight stroll with Elise. He had never planted a garden or read those wonderful books his mother had loved to read. Instead, he had hurried through life, never resting to see all that was good along the way. Peter became very sad at this discovery. He decided to go out to the forest where he used to walk as a boy to clear his head and warm his spirit. As he entered the forest, he noticed that the little saplings of his childhood had grown into mighty oaks. The forest itself had matured into a paradise of nature. He laid down on a small patch of grass and fell into a deep slumber. After only a minute, he heard someone calling out to him. "Peter! Peter!" cried the voice. He looked up in astonishment to see that it was none other than the old woman who had given him the ball with the magic golden thread many years earlier. "How have you enjoyed your special gift?" she asked. "At first it was fun, but now I hate it," he responded bluntly. "My whole life has passed before my eyes without giving me the chance to enjoy it. Sure, there would have been sad times as well as great times, but I haven't had the chance to experience either. I feel empty inside. I've missed the gift of living." "You are very ungrateful," said the old woman. "Still, I will give you one last wish." "I'd like to go back to being a schoolboy and live my life over again," Peter quickly responded. He then returned to his deep sleep. Again, he heard someone calling his name and opened his eyes. Who could it be this time, he wondered. When he opened his eyes, he was absolutely delighted to see his mother standing by his bedside. She looked young, healthy, and radiant. Peter realized that the strange woman from the forest had indeed granted his wish, and he had returned to his former life. "Hurry up, Peter, you sleep too much. Your dreams will make you late for school if you don't get up right this minute," his mother admonished. Needless to say, Peter dashed out of bed and began to live the way he had hoped. He went on to live a full life, one rich with many delights, joys, and triumphs, but it all started when he stopped sacrificing the present for the future and began to live in the moment. The end.
All right, so the story that Megan just read us reminds us to live in the present, but periodic reflection on the past can help us to better understand our current circumstances and feelings, which leads us to our sharing of joys, concerns, and milestones. So Lisa and Tina, please pause. So now we will be singing with the kids hymn number 359. When we are gathered, it should be in the gray hymnals that should be near you on a chair or on the floor. McCluney will be sharing a presentation with us.
All right, everybody. I'm Noel McCluney. I'm the Director of Religious Education. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to just share a few things, like some highlights of the year from religious education. So with the kids, RE is what we call it. Because a lot of times you guys don't really know what we're doing in there because you're in here. Unless you're a parent, you really don't know what we're doing in there. So I wanted to share, and I also wanted to recognize the kids. So after I go through kind of the highlights, I'll have all the kids come up, and I have some special gifts for them. Maybe? Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah. Then okay. You just get to see my lovely silhouette there. Okay. Maybe not, guys. I can't get it to click forward. Okay. Well, first I wanted to just say one of the highlights this year was having committed staff. David Love here, I know you guys all know, but he volunteers. He volunteered to help us this year in RE, coming every Sunday to help with all the kids. I have I got this cute picture of him with Scarlett here, the little baby. And then we have Mackenzie. She's not here today, but she's been my rock as well, being here. And then that's just me at Hogwarts. And then I wanted to share with it, we updated the space this year, so that was a big highlight. This was kind of the first step. We were able to put in a new TV, which has been really great. I've been able to show like YouTube videos that go with the lesson, which is this day and age, these kids really gravitate more towards that method rather than reading a book. So that's been kind of fun. And I also organized the closets, which I know seems silly, but it's been really great to have an organized closet that I can find things, and I don't have to go out and buy things that we already have that I just didn't know was in the closet. This is what the room used to look like, yellow, and then go ahead. This is just fun kind of pictures of the progression. So yellow, then we primed it, me and Mackenzie, and then we painted blue. I used that chalice picture as kind of our the template for the colors that I used. And yeah, and then keep going. And then this kind of what it looks like right now. I also put together a picnic table and put it out on the back area there, so that's been fun to have. This was what our little playroom used to look like, and I really, now that we've been getting a lot more babies, I really wanted to make this room a lot more functional, more safe for the kids. We had a lot of little things in there, and I know when Malcolm here was little, that made me nervous that there was little things in there, choking hazards, so I really wanted to kind of revamp the room, so we did. This is just kind of progression of it. And one more. So that's kind of what it looks like now, though I have started to install more shelves. But if you see the first part when you come in is the baby area. So I've got the mat down and all the baby toys. And then as they become toddlers and preschoolers, the back area is more for the older kids. And then I'm installing shelves where we can put some of the preschool things that I just don't want the babies to access without anybody knowing that they're accessing. All right, and then again, so one of our highlights was that we were able to really try to tailor what we're doing with all the different ages. That's one of the biggest challenges of RE in a lot of these congregations, is that we have a wide age range. So we have the baby room now. You can see this cute picture of Lynn holding Scarlett. And then I've got some kind of preschoolers now that we're able to, they can play in the playroom, but then they can also come out and participate in the lessons depending on kind of their interest in the lesson. And then we've been doing a lot of stuff with the school age kids that we have here. And then I've been trying to do what I call comprehensive curriculum this year, so covering the 8 principles, religious literacy, and cultural education, and then doing community building activities, so fun stuff. I created these posters that you'll see. So when we do a lesson, they get a little sticker, and they get to put it on their poster. So that's what these are right here. I created little handouts sometimes for certain lessons so that parents could take it home, stick it on their fridge, and kind of go over different words, for especially some of the more difficult topics. We did Earth Day. Mackenzie led the craft project where they got to do planting. So it's one of the 8 principles tech activities we did. And we did, we had Sarah, so our previous director came in and she did a special presentation on pride, sex, gender, sex, and pride, she called it. And we did genderbread cookies afterwards, if you got to participate in that. And that was fun. And we did a glitter, what did she call it? Like a glitter blessing. That's right. And that's what she's doing there, is everybody who wanted to, who could go up there and get a little glitter blessing. For religious literacy, I tried to cover some of the big ones. So this was Buddhism. We did talk one lesson about kind of the history of Buddhism, and then one lesson we did some art, some spiritual art stuff. So this is little Trenton playing with a Buddha board there. And we talked about different Jewish traditions, so Rosh Hashanah. I did a lot of food stuff this year, which I just think it's fun to do. So we got to try a lot of different foods. Yeah, so Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Day. We got to try a lot of fun different fruits. Native American heritage, we made Johnny cakes. So they're kind of like pancakes, but with cornmeal. So those are fun to make. And then some fun community building activities. So doing the Easter egg hunt, we did that this year. 4th of July picnic. We did finally get the holy powder out that day because it was finally warm enough. So we had a good time with that. And then I have to talk about Hogwarts. So Hogwarts is something that we do every year if you're new to the congregation. So every year it's kind of become a tradition where we hold this camp that's Harry Potter themed. It's kind of developed now into a weekend. It's something I can actually pull off. It used to be a week-long thing when Sarah ran it, but I don't know how she did that. So nowadays, it's hard enough to get a weekend where I can get a lot of volunteers. This year, very lucky, I had a lot of volunteers, families from our kids here, and then the community come and help me pull it off. So some quick pictures. So we tent camp. So if people want to camp, they can tent camp. We have all the kids sorted into different houses. We did crafts where they got to make wands and different things. We have the Honeydukes candy shop, which is a big hit with the kids. This is Colleen here in the handing out the candy that day. And we had different classes. So Megan here was teaching music. The theme this year was music, so she had a music class going on. I had my friend Danae, who's a math education major at BGSU. She came out and did something with music and math. And then Jamie Sands, who's helped us many, many years, she always does like a science thing. So she did the science of sound with the kids. And then in the afternoon, we usually do a scavenger hunt out there and a water slide and crafts. Yep. Yes, and Desmond did go back. I need special recognition here. Desmond did create the scavenger hunt this year. It was birds, like bird song, so that's how we connected it with the music. And he hid all these stuffed animal Audubon birds that have the song in them, and then we had a scavenger hunt sheet where the kids had to go and find them and then match them to the correct bird. So that was a real hit. And then I gave them these whistle pops when they won. So I had a lot of kids doing the scavenger hunt multiple times so they could get multiple whistle pops because they really liked those. And then at night we do a movie and a campfire. And we do a lot of Quidditch. So on the first day and the second day, this was the last day where we do a Quidditch championship. So the winning teams play against each other. And a special shout out to Lynn, who finally helped me get Quidditch poles that stand up. So she had the idea of these umbrella stands, and it finally worked. So very exciting, because usually we have to put those poles up all the time. And then I had the taiko drumming group come out. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they usually perform at ArtsX and other places as well. And my kids took some special lessons from them, and I thought, ooh, they would be great to come out and teach all the kids at Hogwarts. And they were. Everybody loved it. They all got to participate in this drumming class. And then other things we did this year, Labor Day picnic. You got Ace here with the water balloon. And we did pumpkin carving. I love this one of Claire with the pumpkin. And then we did more recently, we did some Christmas cookie decorating. Yeah, that was like last week, so, all right. And then just some thoughts of next year. We will have a new RE assistant, so David is stepping down, moving on to other things. So we're gonna have a new RE assistant. We already hired her. She's awesome, like, yeah, it was just, it was amazing that she just reached out and was like, I'm interested. And I was like, oh, yes, please. She's a teacher. She's in special education, and she just wants to come and kind of be part of a community. And she thought this was a great way that she could, give back to this community and kind of become part of the community. And I was like, okay, yeah, that'd be great. So, and then Kevin had the idea of maybe doing a group me next year. Group me is like a text messaging system, so that the parents can communicate a little bit easier, like going, oh, hey, let's go see Moana, anybody want to come, and those kind of things. So trying to connect the families, the parents a little bit more. And then lastly, I just want to recognize the children, right? So I want to, let's see, how about you guys all come up? Let's stand in a row here. All right, so I made these lovely certificates for everybody. So these are for all our school age kids. So we do have younger kids, but they didn't come today. I had something else for them. So our younger kids and our babies. But these are all our school age kids that participated in at least 3 months of lessons throughout the year. So. All right, got Malcolm. And maybe just hold it like that so we can get a nice picture at the end.
Pass these out, everybody.
Yes. Roman, Grace, Keelan, Adam, Claire, and Cecilia. And then everybody gets a candy cane or a Jingle Bell thing. She gets the Jingle Bell bracelet. And a gift card for Amazon, because again, lots of different interests, different ages, so easy just to go with the Amazon card and they can get their special recognition gift, whatever they want. Yeah, as soon as. Got it. And one for me. Thank you. Sure, that'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you, Noel. I think it's really nice to hear what RE is doing, especially if you're not really involved with it. Because I always go back there and I'm like, dang, this looks really cool. I want to do this stuff. All right. So for this next part of our service, we will begin with a quote by Henry Miller, which I believe will appear up there. The moment one gives close attention to anything, even a blade of grass, it becomes a mysterious, awesome, indescribably magnificent world in itself. The more I look at a thing, the more I see in it. And the more I see in it, the more I want to see. It is like peeling an onion. There is always another layer and another and another. And we follow with another by Shrek, Ogres are like onions, they have layers. As we contemplated this service being a show and tell, it was with an eye to the idea that our congregants have plenty of layers, but I promise they're not ogres. Maybe. Instead, it's based on the idea that the more we get to know one another, to hear one another's stories, more layers are revealed. Not everyone chooses to share in services like these, and that's okay. Hopefully, the silent enjoy listening and maybe sharing on an individual level. Now that we are ready to invite our congregants up, we want to say that if you suddenly feel compelled to share but hadn't planned to do so, or you are a visitor who wants to share, let Tina or Lisa in the back know at the back table, and we will include as many as we have time for. So first we have MVUC President Megan Ranciere come up to the podium to tell us her reflection. Okay, perfect.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. So, excuse me. So I just wanted to remind everyone of the beautiful transformation we made as a group when we decided to paint. That's the foyer, what it looked like before, what it looks like after, although the pictures never show a true color. Look at that, that's what it looks like. And there's our sanctuary. Look at the difference, it's absolutely amazing. So in case you forgot what it looked like before, now what it looks like now. And I think we got that done pretty quickly. So I think it makes a huge difference, and it feels so much warmer in here to me. So yeah, I hope everybody likes it, and I think it was a great transition for us.
So now it's Megan.
Okay, just a quick highlight reel. Obviously, more stuff happened this year than I can fit on a PowerPoint slide, but just to let people know, like, what I've been doing, in addition to, like, my job. John and I took a trip to Japan. That was kind of the big highlight of the year for me. But there were other things that I have been kind of chipping away at during the year. One of them was Duolingo. I was trying to learn some Japanese in preparation for the trip. And then after we got back, I realized, like, I didn't want to stop learning it. So I think done pretty well. I'm proud of myself for that. Hopefully that continues next year. And then on the right side, this is all the dogs of my life. And actually, it's only a few of them. The black dog in the middle, that's my dog. His name is Gunter, and I love him. He's a good boy. I mean, they're all good boys and girls. But the other dogs are dogs that I've been walking at the Humane Society. And this is something that I started doing in July, and I really just, I really love it. You get attached to the dogs really quickly, and you get invested in their well-being, and when they find their forever homes, you are like really, really, really happy for them. So I have found that very gratifying, and that's my highlight reel. Thank you.
Next, we have Robyn Delamatter.
Hi. Hi. Yikes. So I just chose one idea from the end of the summer where I was looking at all the piles of quilts in my studio room and thinking, what could I do with them? And I thought it would be really cool to have a show in an art gallery. I wonder what that's like. Well, I don't have an art gallery or the motivation to actually do that, so I thought maybe I could hang them here. So over the course of a few days in the summer, I just hung one every day so that as we went about our business, we could just look at them and see what we thought. So for about 25 years, I've been interested in a group of quilters called the Gee's Bend Quilters. They are actually descendants of slaves from a plantation along the Alabama River in Boykin, Alabama. And I decided to just look at a picture and say, what can I learn by copying this work? So I would like to honor the women whose work I learned from and whose work I copied. There are 4 of them in this and 2 of my own. So I would like to read their names, if that's okay with you, just so they get the credit they deserve. On the left is Bricklayer. That's by Loretta Petway, born in 1942. In the center is Housetop by Melissa Petway, who lived from 1914 to 1997, which is when my grandmother lived. The third one is the first one of these that I tried. That's called Flower Garden, and her name is Essie Bendolph Petway. She was born in 1956. She's my age, and she made that while I was in college, not making quilts. The next slide is one of my own on the left. That one's called Amish Dots, Lines, and Squares, and that's by me. And it references my longtime love of Lancaster Amish quilts, my Perry Ellis designer scarf from the 1980s in the middle, and an artist our daughter works with whom I love, Howardina Pindell, who was born in 1943. The next one, the center one is another G's Ben quilt called Devil's Walking Stick, also known as Drunkard's Path. And that's by Lucy T. Petway, who lived from 1921 to 2004. And the last one is one of my own from 9 patch squares that I found in Fredericksburg, Texas, that I carted around since the 1990s. And I finally put them together and finished it in 2023. And I call it 9 Patch Flower Fields. Thank you.
Our next is Melanie Stinson, who is one of our online members, shared her artwork and a picture of herself in memory of her sister's partner who passed away this year. Oh, this one, yes. So in memory of her sister's partner who passed away this year. And then now we have Tina Jones sharing Way Too Many Books.
Melanie's on Zoom right now. Melanie, thank you. The artwork is beautiful. Thank you for sharing it. So yeah, my year of too many books. Yeah, I'm a librarian, but I've always been a bibliophile. I have always had 3 to 4 books going at the same time since college, where I was an English literature major. So I guess that makes sense too. But I feel like the things that I choose to read and listen, I listen to a lot of them on the way here, on the way home, because I have such a long commute. Plus I have a commute every day going to school, work. They shape my thinking. They shape my emotional landscape for the year, as I'm sure some of you who love books would agree. Some of the highlights from this year, Lessons in Chemistry. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And I just saw the show that the limited series on Apple TV, and the main character is Elizabeth Zott, and she's just an amazing scientist, woman, powerful figure. So I highly recommend that. The other one that was amazing was Out of My Heart, which is the second of 3 books written for middle grades, which is me apparently, because I read a lot of that. But Netflix, I think, just has a movie based on the first one called Out of My Mind, and it's about a girl who has, I think it's cerebral palsy, thank you. She's wheelchair bound, she cannot speak, and people just kind of make assumptions about her, but her teacher and her her parents start to see, and her neighbor who takes care of her when her parents are at work, see a glimmer of depth in her that eventually, with the help of a Medi-Talker, which is a little computer that she can press with her hand and it'll say things for her, they find out that she's quite brilliant. She has a photographic memory. She ends up participating in regular school finally, and all these thoughts that she's always had start spilling out. So this was the sequel to that, and there's a third one that I'm going to get soon that continues from there. So another really good one. The Last Cuentista is a sci-fi middle grades book about the planet is basically being destroyed, and so people have left on spaceships and are trying to find another place to go. Well, there's these people that are supposed to keep the Cuentistas are supposed to keep the history of humankind. And it was just such a rich narrative. The main character is a Latina, and it was just so surprising continuously how in-depth it was. I've had a few students in 5th grade read it, and they did say that they didn't fully understand it. I said, that's okay, neither did I. Every time you read it, you'll get something new out of it. Dearborn was an interesting read. I live in Dearborn, and this was a series of short stories that were about Muslim Americans and all different stages of having lived in the U.S. and from different country origins. So that one was really interesting and good. Lots of name dropping of places that I live near, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. The Pillars of the Earth I reread because I spent a couple of weeks this summer in England in cathedrals, including the cathedral that this one was based on, and I got to see a book in that cathedral, cathedral, where his research, there was like a book of his research and a dedicated letter from Ken Follett from it. So many good ones. Go ahead to is there another one? Good. All right. All really good. Also, kids, if you get a chance to read the Wendla series, The Search for Wendla, it's 3 books. Awesome fantasy, kind of sci-fi. Robots involved in Earth. It's cool.
All right, so from here we are going to be moving on to our next musical selection, which is hymn number 139 in the same gray hymnal that you should have, which is called Wonders Still the World Shall Witness. Please stand as you are willing and able. Free and bold, so that all right, so now we will be passing our offertory basket. All donations are greatly welcomed. If you make automatic pledge payments, please place one of the yellow cards from the back of the chairs to indicate your support in the basket. If you would like your contribution to count towards an annual pledge, please put it in an envelope and write your name on it so we know who it came from. Thank you so much. All right. So please join me in reading the words provided for extinguishing our chalice, which shall appear in a second. There we go. Okay. We end our gathering with gratitude for camaraderie, shared wisdom, goodwill, and support that we extend to each other within this community. May we continue to bless each other with these gifts, and may we reflect those blessings back out into the world as we minister to those around us. Okay, so now is the time for announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? All right, come on up.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me. It's a coincidence. Hi, I'm Colleen. My first announcement is about the lost and found in the hallway. All of those items will not be here with the new year, so please take a look. It's in the hallway where we hang up the coats if anything is yours. And actually, if anything is not yours, you can still just take it because we're just going to donate it. Most of that stuff has been here since before August. A lot of it came from the Hogwarts camp, and Noel has had a chance to reach out to all of those parents. So really, if you like something, take it, because otherwise it's just going to be donated. It's been there for months and months at this point. It's been in the newsletter, so I think it's fair game to do that. Also, the fellowship committee is going to have the regular monthly game night. So we are having it even in December with the holidays. So it's going to fall on Friday, December 27th. So if you're in town and maybe you have some free time off work, maybe it's actually a good time for you to come. So I know everybody's schedule is different, but December 27th, Friday, 7 p.m., we're going to have our regular game night here. So hope to see you.
Okay, all right, here I am, Steve Israel. Today is Bowling Green Magic Club Day, 1 o'clock. Among the things we're going to be teaching is how to take a coin with two sides, but make it appear that it has heads on both sides. Oh my gosh! And then we're going to take, parents, don't worry about this one. We're going to take sharp, pointy toothpicks and poke them through our thumbs and come out the other side, but without any pain. I hope. That's today a 1.
Okay, I meant to say this after I shared, but now that you know what it looks like to do a year in review, next year I hope that you'll be thinking throughout the year, what could I maybe share about how my year has gone, and we'll get more people involved next year. Thanks.
So with the temporary placement of the projector on the nice metal shelves, which are usually out by the front door, you might be wondering where you're supposed to put all of your donations for the food pantry. So you could just kind of pile them on the table that's outside where we have our little treats and sweets until that gets dealt with. And, maybe you're going to even get some food items given to you as gifts that are packaged, and you're like, yeah, that would be nice, but I really need to lose those pounds. Go ahead and bring them in, as long as they're sealed. Toiletries, anything, look for your coupons. Kroger's always sending me stuff that I'm not going to use, but I go and get it for the food pantry, because when I, on Mondays, take the donations and I always take something, even if we haven't gathered something, then I feel like we should take something from the church, so I rummage and take stuff of mine. There was 34 cars lined up at the beginning, and they're open for like an hour and a half, so who knows how many more came. People in the community are really desperate right now, and the only thing that is really fluid in anyone's budget is your groceries and household items. So if your dentist passes out toothbrushes, yes, I'll have that toothbrush, thank you very much, and bring it in, because somebody else maybe doesn't have the ability to even attend the dentist, so they really need that brush to keep in good health. So thank you, and share your blessings.
A lot of announcements. I'll make this really quick, but just two things. Tina mentioned sharing for today's service and next year's version of today's service, but the first service of 2025, right, is going to be a discussion-based, or is it next week? In 2 weeks. Yeah, so the last, thank you, the last service of 2024, December 29th, I believe, is going to be discussion-based, where we're all kind of talking about what brought us to Unitarian Universalism and what brought us to MVUUC specifically. So just a heads up to hopefully plan to be here and plan to share. And then my last announcement is just kind of an idea that I was thinking about on my way up here. I have a lot of old Christmas cards that have just accumulated, and I assume a lot of people might. And I should have brought them with me along with some stamps, because I would really like to reach out to folks at MVUUC who we haven't seen in a while. If you have a copy of the MVUUC directory, I would just like to put in a little suggestion for everyone as you're doing your Christmas cards, even if you've already done them. Maybe find a name on that directory, somebody that you haven't seen in a while, or somebody who might like to hear from somebody at MVUUC. Maybe add one more name to your Christmas card list, because that would really help to maintain those community ties that we've been celebrating today. Thank you.
All right, so we are very close to being done, but I just want to remind everyone real quick of three things that I've been thinking of lately. The first one, especially as we go into coffee hour, is I feel like people haven't been wearing name tags as much, which is okay, but remember there are, you can get the plastic ones that are fancy that you can pin or like wear as a lanyard, or just the little paper ones. Also, we do have the pronoun stickers on there. So please remember to kind of be respectful to people's pronouns and that kind of thing, and ask if you're unsure. Just, keep that in mind. Another thing is don't touch people if they don't ask you to, especially things like bear hugs and that kind of thing. Going in for a handshake is okay, but, ask someone, is it okay if I give you a hug today, or that kind of thing. Just keep that in mind. And there was one more. Also, if someone says, I don't like to be photographed, please don't photograph them. Don't have them in your photographs. So just three things, keep people's names and genders in mind. Don't touch people unless you are really, outside of like a handshake. And then if people ask not to be photographed or put in certain situations, please don't do that. So I just wanted to keep that in mind as we move on to coffee hour after this, which you are all welcome to stay for. And so now we have one last closing song, which is hymn number 16 in that same gray hymnal, "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple." And please stand as you are willing and able. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please feel free to stay for coffee hour. Thanks.